Greetings, this is Artie from Artifact Electronics. So this was on my doorstep today. I removed the shipping label to protect the innocent and the guilty alike. It was an impulse buy on eBay. More stuff for the TRS-80. I've cut the tape, but I haven't yet looked inside. And here's what we have. And it also came with this cable. So for those of you who haven't recognized this, this is an expansion interface for the TRS-80 Model 1. And why did I buy it? Because I got it for $30 plus shipping. But it was kind of hard to see from the pictures and or the description what is or isn't included in here. And I'll show you the pictures in the ad in a minute. Oh. But there you go. There's the beast. So the ad had two pictures. Here was one of them, which, well, it doesn't really show you a whole lot. What you can make out from this picture is that, well, it's an expansion interface. It's missing the covers on the ports. The only thing that I usually look for when I buy an expansion interface is to make sure that it's one of the later generation ones. The earlier ones didn't just have a straight cable going to the computer, but rather it plugged into here. And because they hadn't put buffers on the expansion interface, they were getting intermittent operation out of it. And then in later revisions, they put the buffers inside the expansion interface, and that way you could only use a straight through ribbon cable to connect it to the computer. And those are much preferred. And the giveaway here is that if you can see a capacitor right here, a big capacitor, that usually indicates that this is a second generation expansion interface. So for 30 bucks it looked like a good deal. The second picture, the seller included, was this. No, it didn't come with a monitor, but I guess he had a TRS-80 hooked up to it and had connected it to the expansion interface, then turned it on, and this is what came up. And this can mean one of many things. Most obviously, this will come up if you have an expansion interface, but there's no disk drives in there. Could also mean that the TRS-80 he used was defective. But that's pretty much all of the information I had when buying this. So let's go and find out what's inside and see if this was a good deal or not. So here's a connector that just goes straight into the TRS-80. And the ad also mentioned that it came with a power supply, which is in itself probably worth $30 to find a working power supply for a TRS-80. Power supply sits inside, and the ad said there were some screws missing, which there are. And it says Kindergarten or kindergarten, whatever, in the front. So and there's some tape here holding it together. And that's about it. Let's crack it open and see what's inside. Such as, is there memory inside? And is there anything under here? There's usually an RS-232 board that fits under here but is not necessarily included. Alright, let's get rid of the tape here that's holding it together, because the main screws holding these two halves together are not there. Lots of tape. Here and here. And more tape. And she's open. So here's the power supply. It's great. Even though we're going to test that power supply before hooking it up to a TRS-80. Let's see. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. So it does look like it has the maximum of 32 kV DRAM installed. There's nothing missing from here. There's a floppy disk controller over here. And yep, that's about it from this view. Now let's open up the top and see if there's any, if that RS-232 card is in there. And we can get this to open. There isn't. It's empty. It usually sits in here, connects over here, but no luck there. Let's open up this side, but this, I'm not sure what's under here, or is supposed to be under here. Oh, that just gives you access to two power supply bays over here. And okay, let's start out by testing the power supply. Alright, let's see. So the diagram tells us that we should be seeing between 19 to 21 volts DC between these two pins. And should be careful not to short out anything while doing this. We're getting, what was it, about 18.5 volts. So that's right in there. Then we have 15 to 17 volts AC on the outer two pins. And that's 19.8. It's a little high, but it's not going to hurt anything. So the power supply seems to work. Now, in order to really test the expansion interface, we're going to have to hook it up to a TRS-80. So for the first part of the test, let's basically do a load test on the power supply. We're just going to use the base, the computer console itself hooked up to a monitor, and here we go. Comes up, and it works. So now let's put the new expansion interface into the loop. So now we hooked up the expansion interface. We put the power supply inside and hooked it up to the main board. And this doesn't even have an indicator light on it, so when you're turning it on its own, there really isn't much happening, except you can hear a relay click. There's a cassette relay in there that clicks when you turn it on. So let's see if we can hear that. Okay, so that's hard to hear because it coincides with the click of the switch, but I think I distinctly heard the relay pull in. And I heard it disengage. And of course we didn't wait for smoke to come. I watched it closely. There was no smoke emanating from it. So now we go one step further and hook it up to the TRS. So the basic configuration is set up now, and I'm even using the new cable, so I'm being an optimist here. So the monitor's on, the expansion interface is on, and now we should probably be seeing that garbage pattern that we saw before. Well, it's a different garbage pattern, but that makes sense because there are no drives installed. So I think the way you need to do this is hold the brake key. And it looks like we may have a problem. Now let's first find out if in fact it is the expansion interface or if we have a problem with the connecting cable. So let me get the known good one and try that one out. Where are you? Come out wherever you are. Okay. So this is a cable I made last time. Okay, let's see, everything. It's turned off, except for the monitor. Alright, if it still doesn't want to come up, here's my guess. We have a RAM error. It's preventing it from coming up. Nope. I guess it was a cable. Let's see if it's seeing all of the memory. No, it is not. It's only seeing the 16K. Well, I think with the expansion interface turned off, that's an expected result. So let's try this again with the expansion interface powered up. And print mem. It's good. The expansion interface, the memory part seems to work just fine. So let's try the other cable again. And let's not forget turn on the expansion interface this time. Make sure to remind me. And just looking in here. Maybe I should give this a squirt of contact cleaner, which I can't find, so all I'll do now is give it a squirt of alcohol. And give it one more try. That's in there. And that's in here. Come on, baby. Nope. The cable. pull them out a little bit. Reset it. That didn't work. Nope, that cable's bad. Alright, so far so good. Let's go back to the good cable and add a disk drive. Yeah, I did it again. I forgot to turn on the expansion interface. Nope. Doesn't seem. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Nope, that cable's bad. Alright, now we got the drive connected. This is on, drive is on. Drive door was open, but I did hear the heads retract. Alright, it is well able to read disks. Next step is, let's use the floppy. Let's put the floppy emulator back into the chain and see if it reads that. Alright, next step. We got the emulator plugged in. So let's see if we can get a directory off of it. No, we can't, because the floppy emulator isn't plugged into the data cable. And that data cable is really short, so I'm going to have to set it on the side. Okay. And okay, so now again and let's attempt the directory again on the emulator. Yes, that worked too. So our final step remaining is to test the expansion port over here, and what better to use than the voice synthesizer. Okay, so let's boot up. And what was the name of the demo program? VCSYN RS1. So we gotta load VCSYN RS1 BAS. So did it actually load it? Yeah, looks like it. I don't hear anything, do you? Did I plug in something wrong? Well, let's find out. Alright, This connector over here wasn't pushed in all the way. Because of course the minute I turned off the video, it started making noise. But it was all wrong because it was only getting partial data. So let's try this again. Okay, that's a better sign. When you turn it on and it just makes a noise, doesn't have a reset in there, means it's probably connected right.
Hello, this is a TRS-80 voice synthesizer demonstration program. I can be programmed to speak any words by using phonemes.
All right.
For example,
So,
the phonemes in the word hello are
well, you heard this already in another episode, so I won't bore you anymore, but it looks like the expansion interface is fully operational. It needs some cleaning. I need to go to the screw store tomorrow and buy some screws for this. But that means I got a fully functional expansion interface and I can start working on my second TRS-80 Model 1 setup now. And yeah, that's about it. I can't think of running. I mean, this was by no means an exhaustive test, but I think it was a good enough test because these things are relatively simple. There's really not that much in there. So if it goes this far and it talks to the disk drive, I think we're good. Well, sorry that this wasn't more exciting. I mean, you know, could have blown a fuse in the power supply at least, but no, everything seemed to work. And thanks for watching. Thumbs up would be appreciated. Subscribe. And leave me comments as you usually do. Comments have increased somewhat and I really appreciate it. And well, not much else to say, but hopefully the next time we'll have to fire up the soldering iron. See you later.